Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Hopefully the stream is going good. Um, yeah, as a matter of fact, since I'm doing this indoors, might as well just take a quick peek, just make sure that everything is going solid. A lot of people going live tonight, Saturday lives. A lot of people on the live streams right now. Lots of people doing it. So just want to make sure that the live stream is at least decent enough. It looks like so. Okay, we're good. Yeah. So, anyways, welcome to the Geeks Den podcast right here on Aloha Android on YouTube, the Geeks Den on Facebook. What's up? If you are catching the replay of this, hashtag replay crew. That way I know you guys watched. For those that join in a little bit later, feel free to comment and say hi, say what's up. Please smash the like button. That really does help circulate these that I do. And shout out to the members down here, going across the little ticker. Thank you guys for being members of the channel. I do need to update that. But I'll get to that a little bit later. Now I have to go live right now because I do have plans later on this evening. Going out tonight. So yeah, social life in kicking in high gear. So, but this podcast was supposed to be last night. However, I was just too tired to kind of go on and do a show live. So I needed, I did a quick live on Instagram, kind of explaining that, shared that live stream over to YouTube and various other platforms that people follow me on, just kind of let you guys know. And I apologize for not having a podcast yesterday. It's going to be a crazy show. Now, first thing I do want to kind of address, so just kind of put that away for a second here and just kind of get real with a lot of people. I know that I've built this channel based on mobile technology. I built it based on Boost Mobile reviews. I've built this channel on custom ROMs. I've really dabbled with mobile technology, and I understand that's why a lot of people did subscribe. Majority of the subscribers that I have subscribed for those things, and I understand that. But I mean, yeah, sure. I talk about movies and stuff like that because I'm interested in those things. Like I like talking about things that I know I'm going to have at least a decent conversation on the live stream talking to people about. I enjoy talking about mobile technology. I really do. It's one of the main things that I thoroughly enjoy. But sometimes that can get when it's so repetitive, it can just sap the joy out of you. And so I'm really hoping that a lot of people will still give me a chance on that. When I dabble talking about movies and comics and other things like that, I try, at least understand where I'm coming from on that. There's more things that I kind of do want to talk about and kind of present forward a different side of me that maybe some of you guys may not have seen. So with that being said, let's go into what I'm going to talk about tonight. Yeah, it's never quiet in my house, and that's the reason why that I live stream mostly outside, just to get fresh air and also, just kind of like. But I mean, when you have kids, you have kids. What can I say? So, anyways, this is the topic for tonight. We'll be talking about Wear OS. Where is Wear OS? Where's Wear? I'm also be talking about where is the Pixel Watch? Something that I feel like that just needs to happen. And I'm also going to be talking about, if we are being super critical when it comes to the carriers that we pay a subscription to for monthly service. Kind of playing devil's advocate with that. There's two sides to it. I did run a poll on Facebook. I'm going to go check what the poll results are just to kind of see people's answers on that. And so it gives me an idea of what some people will be thinking. So yeah, let's just kind of go with Wear OS. Let's kind of start off with that. You know what I mean? Because I do have a Moto 360. It's the original one. I don't have the second generation or the third gen. But when it comes to smartwatches, it's falling by the wayside. Let's just be honest, right? Apple's pretty much got like a monopoly over smartwatches because the Apple Watch, to a lot of people, is superior when it comes to an accessory that, tag teams with your smartphone. The Apple Watch can do so much. they increase what it can do over time with each iteration of the Apple Watch, right? I think the closest thing that even comes to a competitor to the Apple Watch, whether you like it or not, is going to be the Samsung Galaxy smartwatches. The Galaxy watches, like the Gear, the Galaxy Gear, those are probably what gives Apple a run for its money. But when you kind of take away all that, I mean, you think, okay, of the Moto 360, lots of people do, but like Fossil and TicWatch and all those may or may not have heard of them. There are a lot of watch brands that actually use Wear OS. The problem with Wear OS is that it doesn't have the attention that Android has, which I really thought that when Google was like breaking into the smartwatch game, going against Pebble, going against the Apple Watch, I thought that, Google and all its teams of developers and its team of thinkers and the people that are just straight out with the googliness, I really thought that they were going to really focus on Wear OS and kind of bring something out of it and have it contend. I mean, they did so with Android, right? When you think about Android and you think about like how Android was way back in the day, a lot of people was like, iOS is much superior. Android will never touch it. Fast forward till today, and now we know of Android has gotten all over iOS and even gone beyond. And so I thought, with that, I thought Google's their confidence in what they can build would have been there for them to actually go and develop Wear OS and maintain it and continue on with it. But the problem is that they have not, to a degree. I mean, Wear OS lacks in a lot of places, and people can name out, as much things as it lacks compared to as much digits as they have on their hand, and probably go even beyond that. I'm quite surprised that Google let this slip through the cracks. It's the same when I kind of think about Android tablets versus iPad. There were infinite possibilities for Android tablets to be very successful in the tablet game. But to me, I always feel like that when to Google, when they see their competition, i.e. Apple, do something that a lot of people catch on to, they seem to just get intimidated and back away from it. They fought really hard for market share when it came to mobile OS platforms, obviously because that was going to be their main bread and butter when it came to the mobile smartphone game. Their actual main bread and butter is advertisement. That's where they make majority of their money from. But when you kind of think about it, Android was their that was it. They put a lot of stock behind Android and they backed it for so many years. And I just felt like they should have done the same with Android tablets. Android tablets are pretty good. I have an LG G Pad. I like using it. If you were to compare it to an iPad, would you say that it's as premium as an iPad? Probably not. But it's got a nice build to it. Of course, it's got LG skin on top of Android, so it's not pure stock Android. I do have a Nexus 7 that, I modded with a custom ROM. Don't mind my son. My son got a haircut today, okay? So his hair is short, and like he's just acting bananas off the wall. But hey, I have kids. But anyways, going back to it. So we seen Google be very passive when it came to the Android tablet game, or just tablets in general, and fall by the wayside. And we're seeing the same thing with Wear OS. And it's like, Google, get your stuff together and focus. Put this into play. Like, revamp Wear OS. Revamp the whole thing, the whole user interface. Revamp it. Make it much better. Make it pleasing to the eye, make it fluid and functionality, give it features that people are enjoying today. This whole talk of when people like to compare one OS platform to another and say, oh yeah, you copied this thing. Who cares? Who really actually says to themselves and actually cares? Oh, they took that from Apple. They took that from iOS. Well, gee willikers. They stole that. Who really cares? I mean, do you guys go that, like, let's say you love Pizza Hut pizza. Do you walk into Domino's and say, hey, you stole that from Pizza Hut? You stole a pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut. Does anyone really do that? No, because nobody cares. People like options. People like options of similar things, but just maybe just slightly tweaked differently, right? Like somebody might like Pizza Hut, and they hate Domino's because they don't like the flavor of Domino's pizza sauce. They prefer Pizza Hut. Some people like Papa John's. Some people like Little Caesars. Some people like Hungry Howie's. There are possibilities and options, and that's what I'm saying. Me being this weird nerd here on the internet, that's what I'm saying. Options is always better. No one cares or gives a hoot about who copied who. I mean, come on now. When you look at iOS and Android, you compare them both. I mean, they literally copy each other. They literally copy each other. You know, you got 3D touch on the iPhone, and you got like the long press touch on Android to bring up these little micro menus to like jump within the app to specific things, right? You had widgets on Android for a long time. iOS 14 brought widgets to iPhone that you actually put widgets on the home screen, not on the widgets page to the left. I mean, those are some of the things that, you know, it's copy. Part of the business today, Carlton says, it absolutely. So why can't Google focus? Why can't they focus on Wear OS and change the whole dynamic of it? Change the UI, beef it up, give it functionalities, right? Recently, the Google Pixels got an update where apparently you can check your heart rate just by pressing your finger up against the camera, okay, using the technology PPG, right? Which was prevalent in Samsung Galaxy devices before Samsung scrapped that whole thing, because one of the major things about it is that you had to stay still in order for it to get an accurate reading, which they have like a lot of smart bands and stuff like that, and those don't require you to sit still. You know what I mean? So by me saying that is that they can make Wear OS have the, you know, similar functionalities like that the Apple Watch has. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, I mean, smartwatches today are leading towards being able to cater towards those who are diabetic, right? That's like the next stage in the smartwatches when it comes to health fitness features, right? You know, we had a heart rate tracker or you know, tracking your heart rate. We had we can track your oxygen level. Now we're getting where it's going to be able to track your glucose, your blood sugar for diabetics. And call it what you may want to call it, but having something like that, you know, is beneficial. I mean, I want to try and find balance when it comes to technology and real life things. And yes, while I advocate that people should not spend so much time on social platforms, you know, but I also do advocate in the fact that technology can be beneficial to man today if used properly and if in moderation. If Google,
I can't connect to the Wi-Fi network. You might want to check the connection settings in the Google Home app.
That's right. I didn't even plug in the hotspot thing. Whoops. So my Google Home can't connect to the internet. Haha. But anyways, I just really, really, really would love to see a change in Wear OS. You guys, those that are watching, I appreciate the 6 people that are viewing right now. Please, for one moment, just excuse me for one moment. I'll be right back. When you have kids, they tend to fight. I had to moderate that. So excuse me for that. Yo, what's up? But anyways, yeah, I would love to see Google put as much attention as they have in Android to put that attention in Wear OS and bring us something that is invigorating and, you know, puts it over the top. because I look at it like this: if they were to revamp Wear OS, where a lot more people started to take an interest in it, you would see a lot of partnerships build with Google. Of course, the Pixel Watch, which people want. I'll get into that here in a second. But yeah, you would see like Fossil. You would see probably even Rolex do partnership deals with Google for Wear OS, because people are going to be wanting to use Wear OS over Watch OS or whatever it's called. And yeah, you can start to make business and bank on Android on Wear OS. Now, I'm just saying, because the way that Wear OS is right now, it's pretty confusing to a lot of people. It's really just, I don't know, it just feels all over the place. It doesn't feel smooth, and that's what people want out of a smartwatch. They want it to to be very fluid to usage, a clean but nice looking user interface, easy to manipulate, and of course with its own little twist and spin on it that just makes it enticing. Let's see. Tariq says Visible millimeter wave, not here in Phoenix. I have Visible. I've been waiting for it on my Pixel 5. I've had the Visible 7 on my Pixel 5 and still nothing yet. As a matter of fact, I think Visible is only going to be using DSS 5G. So it's going to be capped at 200 megabits per second anyways. Samsung has their watch. Yeah, Samsung does have their watch. And that's what I'm saying. This is one of those things where Google always tends to drop the ball, right? This is why for the longest time, when you said Android, people assumed you had a Samsung Galaxy device, because that was the only device that most everyday consumers knew had Android on it, right? When you drop the bomb on them, and you're like, no, it's not a Samsung Galaxy, S3 or S4. It's a Nexus 4 or Nexus 5 or any of those, and they were like, oh, I didn't know that was Android. This is this is one of those things. This is one of those things where it comes to, again, Google dropping the ball on something that they could really, yeah, I don't know. I get disappointed with Google. They keep saying Visible is getting millimeter wave access only in cities where millimeter wave access is, and not every area will have millimeter wave access, as that's going to be more for Verizon postpaid. But in areas where there's 5G access on Verizon's network, you will have access to DSS 5G on Visible, and the cap max is 200 megabits per second on the download. So it's like literally equivalent to low band 5G on T-Mobile, just about. So you can really look at on Visible's website and really kind of read the fine print, and I'll tell you about it. Especially like the cap that they have set in place on 5G with Visible to not go beyond. And that's just because Visible is a low QCI level. So obviously they're not going to have the same QCI level as, say, postpaid Verizon, which is they're going to reserve that access for mainly. Facebook user says FFG. Elaborate. By the way, for the person on Facebook, identify yourself and then elaborate. But kind of moving away, still in the same field, talking about Wear OS, but kind of moving towards Google in a different. Now we're going to be talking about hardware. Where is the Pixel Watch? We know that Google acquired Fitbit, right? Like Fitbit required intellectual property that belonged to Pebble. And when Pebble basically sold that intellectual property because they had to shut down, that was that was one of the craziest things. I remember when I was in shock because Pebble had ran so many. What is that? What is that crowdfunding thing? I forgot what it's called. Someone knows what it's called. Just type it in chat. I totally forgot what it's called. The crowdfunding that they ran a campaign on like 2 or 3 times. That was for the Pebble Watch, the Pebble Time, and then the Pebble 2. But anyways, yeah, they got some of the development team and intellectual property belonging to Pebble as it was stripped away. And then Google acquired Fitbit. Oh, Isaac, hey, what's up, man? No, your name doesn't show unless you change your privacy setting on Facebook. It just shows you as that Facebook user. Yeah, Fitbit is good watches, but now Google pretty much has acquired Fitbit. And when they did, the first thing that came to my mind is we are bound to see a Pixel watch. But then absolute dead silence. Now I get to some people out there that would be like, well, Google should really take their time in developing this because look at the Pixel Buds wireless. They really screwed the pooch with those. They should have been like phenomenal, but they're just mediocre. And yeah, I get that. You know, Google tends to drop the ball on a lot of things. But we don't know anything of them actually being serious about making a smartwatch that's going to be part of the Pixel line. That's the key thing. Is there going to be an actual smartwatch, whether they call it the Pixel Watch or they call it the G Watch, whatever they want to call it, is there going to be, you know, an actual smartwatch from Google directly and not, you know, Motorola 360 and Samsung Galaxy Gear or, you know, Fossil RQ1127, whatever. I just made that up. That's not a real watch. But I'm just saying, an actual hardware developed in-house by Google. And the reason for that is that when you kind of think of like some of the benefits that you'll get from a smartwatch in recent times, there's one that Apple is capitalizing on. One. Okay. So we all know that iPhones have Face ID. And they have still yet, no matter how many rumors circulate that there's going to be an in-display Touch ID, that doesn't happen. It stays Face ID. But Apple, with iOS 14.5, is in within that update, if you have an Apple Watch, they have a way that when you're going to unlock, because you're wearing a mask of, you know, because of pandemic and everything, that if you have the smartwatch nearby, it will authenticate to unlock even though you have the mask on. Most people that have it, that have Face ID iPhones, pretty much know the headache of it. When you have a mask on, it's not going to unlock for you. I know that it doesn't unlock when you wear a mask. If you wear sunglasses, it won't unlock for you. It's got to see your eyes. So that is some of the benefits of that in current times. Some people don't care about smartwatches. I mean, it's funny because like I watch what people do on social media and how they interact. And that statement would be like 100% true that, you know, like that some people don't care about smartwatches. But the people that I've seen that have said openly that they don't really give a crap about smartwatches and like they have like a, you know, LG Stylo 6 or something like that, and say they make the transition and jump over, they get on iOS, they buy an iPhone, right? The one thing I see them do when they buy that iPhone and they start showing it off on social media is like, yeah, I got the brand new iPhone 12 and I got the Apple Watch Series 6. And it's like, so I think a lot of people don't care about smartwatches for like Wear OS side because there's nothing really pumping or popping about it. But when you see iOS, people are always talking about how well the Apple Watch works with the iPhone. And so when people go and buy an iPhone, they're like, well, let me accessorize and get an Apple Watch to go with it. And then boom, you know, you see it. It never fails. But that's because a lot of people know what the Apple Watch can do. You know, you got word of mouth, people who own iPhones rock Apple Watches. You see them and you're like, you ask about the Apple Watch, and they can tell you like all the millions of things it can do. You know, it can take the place of you having to take out your phone for Apple Pay. You can just tap the watch for Apple Pay. And, you know, just imagine that walking up with all your groceries and getting scanned. And then it's like, okay, go ahead and pay now. It'll tell you the price. Oh, yeah, you know, your groceries is like $125.50. You're like, okay, yeah, you know, just go up there to the little thing, doop, paid off your wrist. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, Wear OS can be so much just like that if Google would actually invest the time in it. Do you think Pixel phones are going to make flagship in 2021? I mean, previous Pixels are flagships. Even though, and see, here's the thing, even though the Pixel 5 doesn't have a Snapdragon 800 series, it has a Snapdragon 700 series chip, doesn't mean that it's not a flagship. The flagship is like the flagship is not based on specs. Okay. I'm just gonna be real with everybody. Whether they agree with me or disagree with me, that's entirely up to other people. But this is just my perspective on it. A flagship doesn't mean specs. It doesn't mean that you have to have so much amount of battery, so this particular processing chip series, this particular thing. That's not what makes that's not what the flagship comes to my mind about. It's like the Galaxy S. The Galaxy S series is Samsung's flagship phone. This is the phone that they're known for that carries them on and on and on and on, right? That's a flagship. So the Google Pixels are flagships. The A series are mid-range, which we know of. They're always going to be mid-range of like, bareness, like the bare things that Google would say that a person that uses a Pixel would want out of a Pixel, minus the wireless charging and the water resistance and all those other things. So that's that. I mean, what do you think the best unlimited plan to use for flagship phones are? Depends on your area. I don't think that anyone should be like loyal to like one brand. Like I'm loyal Verizon or I'm loyal AT&T or I'm loyal T-Mobile. Like, you're only setting yourself up for bad experiences when you put high expectations just like that. Hey, Paul Tech's in here. What's up, Paul Tech? What's going on, dude? He says my smartwatch is a lifesaver. I use my smartwatch all day at work and hardly ever use my phone at all. Says Paul Tech pretty much like takes advantage of the ability of using his smartwatch as a tag team accessory to his smartphone, allowing him to basically stay connected on the digital world with everybody and anybody that he associates with on a day-to-day without having to pull his phone out. People do that. I did it at work when I worked at Sprint. That was one of the ways I sent text messages to my fiance all the time was, I had a Pebble watch. So I had like I already made like pre-made replies, custom replies, actually not pre-made, but custom replies. And she would text me and I would just like hit the one that I wanted to choose and boom, it would send a message back. When I had the Pebble Time, I could do voice to text on it. So when she would text, I would hit reply, hit voice, with the 3 toggle buttons the Pebble watch has. And then I would just like whisper into my watch what I wanted it to say so no one would hear me and it would send that message. So smartwatches are there, but Google needs to capitalize with Wear OS, revamping Wear OS, making that much better. And at the same time, produce the Pixel Watch. Produce it. Okay, you've bought Fitbit. You got, the Fitbit development team that obviously know how to make a smartwatch. They've been making, fitness bands, and they've been making it where fitness was the primary of the band, and then like additional things added in to make it more like a smartwatch later. They have the ability to do it, so they should definitely do it. That's just my thing. Bring us the Pixel Watch. I would love if this year we got the Pixel 5a, the Pixel 6, which is going to be phenomenal. I'm excited for that phone. Like literally, I'm contemplating just selling my every Pixel I have up to the Pixel 4. So keeping the Pixel 4, the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5, and then using some of that money that I sold my other Pixels for, and then putting that towards getting the Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 will have Google's own processing chip, no longer relying on Qualcomm for a processing chip. To me, that is big thumbs up from Google going that route. And finally, did they ever get? It's just like they needed this. They needed this. In my book, they needed this. That's the geek in me talking. Google needed to do this. But all right. So switching gears here, I'm switching over to, are we too critical when it comes to mobile carriers? So I'm going to pull up the group page on Facebook, and I'm just going to look at the replies I got on there. Where is it at? We're actually live. I forgot. I'm like simulcasting to the Facebook group page anyways. But where is that poll? Where is it? I don't think I pinned it anywhere. Look at that. I can't even find my own things on the Facebook group. Ha! Yeah. It's crazy. But I asked people on that, so I want to see people's responses. Let me know what you guys think. What's up, Michael Look? What's going on, man? So I'll ask you guys that question right now on the live. Do you think that we are way too critical when it comes to how we feel about mobile carriers out there? Let me know. I'll read your answers in the chat here. Let me just find this poll that I did. Get those answers on it. I couldn't have been this far back. I hate how Facebook like scrambles everything in the timeline. Like, why? The fastest way to find it. Let's see. So yeah, go ahead and comment your answer on that. Do you guys think that we are overly critical when it comes to the mobile service provider and the type of service we're getting from them? Actually, let me read you my the question how I did it. Okay. So I said, big question for you. Comment your answer. Do you feel as of today we are a bit too critical of mobile carriers? That's the question. So you guys can answer it in the comments or in the live chat. So I got a couple of answers here. I got one from Technoid. Technoid says, personally, if you're paying for the service, you have the right to be critical as you're a paying customer. Then we got Mill Hustles, who commented an answer and said, not at all. We got the homie Alejandro, who put a little image. He said no. They needed to have better quality service on all signals. And then my older sister put no. Just simple no. T-Mobile Rabies says, it's a funny name. I think we are too critical on mobile carriers, but on the other hand, we pay a lot of money for wireless service and we deserve great network for the money we pay. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. And see, here's the thing. Being critical, I don't think is a problem, right? When you critique the carrier that you're with, that you pay a monthly subscription fee for services, you expect to get what you pay for. If they tell you unlimited talk, text, and data, and they be using terminologies like we got you covered across nationwide, you're expecting where you go, you're going to have connection, right? Yesterday, I spent the day up in the Grand Canyon, and the only provider that worked for me was Visible, which runs on Verizon's network. That was how I was able to live stream on Twitter when I went to the Canyon lookout point. And even then, I watched the replay on Periscope/Twitter, and it was kind of just a little fuzzy, a little pixelated. At some points, it cleared up, but it was a little fuzzy. So I ended up saving a copy of the live stream because on Twitter, it allows you to save to your camera roll. And the camera roll, the save to the camera roll was actually clear, a lot clearer than what it shows in the replay on the Twitter app. So I ended up uploading copies of the live stream up to like Facebook and Instagram, and I think I put it on YouTube also. I'm not sure, but yeah, Visible was the only one that worked, right? And like Metro by T-Mobile always touts that they have you covered nationwide, but obviously when you go into the Grand Canyon National Park and you're getting closer to where the actual canyon is, you're in roaming. No 5G service, no LTE, no HSPA plus. You're in roaming, literally straight roaming. AT&T was down to HSPA plus, and mind you, the AT&T line I have was given to me by Carlos S. Tech, and he has me on his AT&T Business Elite line. So this is not even the consumer postpaid. This is supposed to have a higher QCI level, so prioritized over consumers because it's a business line. And yet I only got HSPA plus. The only one that gave me LTE 2 bars was Visible, which was on Verizon. Okay. So I think, you could be a little bit critical about that. It's like, hey, you know what? You guys just need to get, your coverage expanded more. When I feel like that, the overcriticalness is not welcome is when people expect the impossible. Like when I see posts that talk about, you know, T-Mobile service sucks by my house. They need to fix it by tomorrow or I'm porting out. But okay, if T-Mobile sucks in your area, first of all, you should have done the research in your area to know what carrier was going to be the dominant one. Because I say this all the time and it seems like that it falls on deaf ears. There's not one carrier that's going to be absolutely 100% spot on perfect from coast to coast, from border to border, and everywhere in between. It's just not happening. Okay, you hear a lot of people that go Verizon's best in the country. It's got you covered, and that's probably because Verizon has probably the best coverage, but it doesn't mean they cover you from left to right, north to south completely. So there's not one carrier that's always going to be the most dominant and that's always going to give you perfect signal connection. I've gone places where people are like, Verizon should have been good in this area. And like, you know, I don't have postpaid Verizon, but having Visible on Verizon, I would figure I would get at least subpar connection, and I got none. And then I got places where what's up, Sneed? Peach. You know, I've gone places where, you know, people are like AT&T is absolutely killing it. And I'm on HSPA Plus, like at the Grand Canyon. You know, like I said, like it's not going to be perfect all the way around. So when people ask me this question, like, you know, I heard Metro sucks, that's why I don't go to it. But I tell them, like, do the research. I don't know, is it hard for people to do the research? Is it really hard to like ask somebody, you know, at work to say, hey, what carrier do you use? And they're like, oh, I use T-Mobile. I'm like, oh, download this app real quick and run a test. I'm trying to go to a new carrier and I'm just trying to make my decision. I want to see how good your service is. You know, have them do a speed test right in front of you to see. Have them make a phone call. You know, send a text message. See how long it takes to send a text. If it's on RCS, see how long it takes to do art. You know, to send out, you know, a message through RCS. Test and find out which one is better. You know, there are a lot of key factors that you have to understand too. That's going to come into play. You also got to know if you live in a town. Say a small town in Podunk, nowhere in the middle of like the abyss. There's like 6,000 people. And, you know, 5,997 of them say that they're on Verizon. Then you got to know that if you go with Verizon, you may have not the best experience only because you have that many people in that area relying on Verizon's towers in that area. It's called congestion. Think of it like a highway, right? Can you get from destination A to destination B on a 5-lane highway where there's an actual traffic jam because everybody's going in the same direction? Can you get there in less than 2 minutes? If it was like 3 miles away, could you get there in like less than 2 minutes, less than 5 minutes? Can you? Probably not, because it's packed. And that's how you got to think of it as, right? The more people's on the network, the more that network is going to stress trying to house that many people on it. So there's a lot of different factors that you got to think about when you are deciding on which carrier to go to. Now, I'm not saying that just because of the highway analogy I just used, does that mean that if everyone in your town is on Verizon and you should go to T-Mobile? I'm not saying that, you know, because if T-Mobile sucks in your town, no matter what, it's going to crap, right? You just got to go with what is working decently for what you need. That's how it goes. So are we allowed to be critical with carriers? Yes, absolutely, because we're paying dollars to it. Is it okay, or does it warrant people to be overly critical and expect things that are impossible to do in one day? Is it okay to do that? No, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's crazy. It's ludicrous. Like, why would you do it? Just why would you do it? You know what I mean? Right? Because like if people were to say, oh yes, you know, you can be overly critical with the carrier and demand and expect things right away, then show me someone who can turn a pile of shit to a diamond by compressing it. It's not possible, right? It's not possible. And so that's what I think. There are realistic things in the argument when it comes to judging a carrier to a degree. But then again, you know, I don't know. I guess I'm being overly picky, and you know what? Like, I'm just like pulling the trigger really fast because, like, I guess what grinds my gears on some people is like I see people that's like, I heard from some people that T-Mobile sucks, or forget T-Mobile. Let's go to a different route. Someone will be like, yeah, I heard that Cricket sucks. It sucks bad. It sucks balls. It's really bad. This, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh yeah, it will never work out for me and what I need my phone for. And you're like, oh yeah, what do you use your phone for? Oh, I go on Facebook. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you have service that yields 10 megabits per second on the down and 5 megabits per second on the up, you're golden on Facebook. You're golden on Facebook, right? You only need more of that if you use a lot out of your phone. If you game on your phone, if you live stream a lot, if you video call a lot, if you're in conference calls, whatever it may be, if you're constantly downloading like huge packets, if you've got documentation that you got to download and do all kinds of quirky things with that, reseal it in a zip file and then send it back. But if you're just on Facebook just to read people's posts, comments, pictures, and put little thumbs up and stuff like that, it's just absolutely, why would you need anything more? It's just like back in the day when people used to like get like absolutely critical about RAM within an Android phone. Like, oh, it needs to have 20 gigabytes of RAM. And I'm like, okay, you know, it has 6 gigs of RAM, but it's got to have 20 or it sucks. Like, why? Don't people know what the use? What does random access memory? What do you do with it? The point of random access memory is that it's to be used. It's to be used. Okay. What's the point of having it if you're not going to use it? You know what I mean? Having that much space, like having that much memory to run multiple things. Yeah, for the power user, definitely for the power user. But if all you're going to be doing is tweeting and Facebook posting and posting pictures on Instagram, do you really need 20 gigs of RAM on a smartphone? It's that type of mentality that really grinds my gears. It's like people want an abundance of something that they're not going to use. And I consider that, regardless, I consider that wasteful. And again, this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. People can think differently, and everyone has a right to think differently. Some people can think, well, I'm willing to spend, if I'm willing to spend $600 on it, I spend $600 on it. Why do you care? I really actually don't. But if you're going to put it out there, expect me to have something to say back. And as much as I read and listened to what you had to say, you're going to hear what I got to say on the matter. Simple as that. You know what I mean? So, in total, things progress and get better. I know there are people who really hammer down, especially like on T-Mobile. They really hammer down on T-Mobile. And again, I have to reiterate this. But the people that I know of that hammer down on T-Mobile, they don't do it in a malicious way. They are doing it because they're trying to push the company to excel in an industry where they need it to lessen the burden on other carriers. You guys, I don't know if you guys heard my son. Yeah, he's having a blast. I love listening to him when he plays. Anyways, let's see. Oh, Alejandro was in here. I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment, bro. But what's up, man? You love the family vlog. I appreciate you if you watched it. I appreciate it. Because yeah, I put that together, you know, just so people can see. And I did that entirely on the Pixel 5. No microphone extensions, nothing like that. All that was from the Pixel 5. The only thing that sucks is that I use an editor called Power Director because I edit from my phone directly and upload directly from my phone. That Power Director, unless you pay the yearly subscription, doesn't let you render. So if you shoot a video in 60 frames at 1080p, it's going to scale it down to 30 frames per second. Sucks. But I'm glad you liked the vlog. Michael Loke says, beware, Apple phone users. Apple is banning all social media platforms. Really? Why? How? Like they're going to get rid of Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat? I mean, who the hell is going to use their phone? Who's going to use their phone? No Twitter? Jeez. I don't know. I gotta look into that, Michael. I gotta look into that. If you got a link to like, besides the YouTube video, but if you got a link, oh man, somebody click that link and watch the YouTube video. Better yet, oh no, I can't because I'm monetizing it. So if it's not my video, I don't want to get hit with the copyright strike. The missus got another hour and a half of work left. she gets off work, I am going out tonight for some drinks. Well, I mean, I'm not drinking, but she is. But I'm going to go have unlimited access to unsweetened tea. It's my favorite beverage nowadays. And I don't add sweetener to it. I just like unsweetened tea and lemon. That's my thing. But that was funny as heck, man. Apple is banning all social media platforms. Why? And then who's going to use their phone? I mean, because it's not like they have their own social media platform. Like, hey, that was one thing that Google did that was pretty awesome. Google had their own social media platform for some time, right? Like if you were on Android and you had Google Plus, and you can go on Google Plus and say hi to people and join communities and congregate and talk about things, the good, the bad, and the nerdy. Add honey to lemon tea. If I wanted sweet, but I appreciate the suggestion, Maverick. But if I want sweet tea, but I don't know, I just have a fondness for bitter tea. Like it's bitter. It's fine by me. I don't know what it is. I guess, well, let me kind of clarify. I drink unsweetened tea like it compensates for the urge of wanting to have a beer. You know what I mean? Because like beer has like a bitter taste to it, kind of. And so, yeah. Watch the video. That's how I found out. Okay. Well, I can't watch it on here because it's not my video. So I'll get dinged if I show somebody else's video on this. Because YouTube has the Fair Use Act policy that they tend to just the Fair Use Act on YouTube is such a joke. It's like, oh, it's fair use. You can use it to make a point. And then the person that sees that you use their video to make a point hits you with the copyright strike. And then you're like, wait. And then YouTube approves that strike. And you're like, wait a minute, Fair Use Act. And then you got to like do this whole submit claim and all this other stuff. And like, nah, it ain't happening. I ain't doing it. But I'll watch it. I'll watch it after this, though. Definitely will watch it after. But yeah, man, I'm just like, who would use an iPhone afterwards? Carlos, what you gonna do, bro? Because Carlos is the homie. Carlos is here in Phoenix, by the way. Because like I felt so bad, like before I end this, because I usually try to go for an hour. We got like 12 minutes left, so I'll share a little short story with you guys. But I was like more than halfway to my destination. Thursday night, Friday, like kind of like into Friday, morning. And I get a phone call from Carlos. And I was like, whoa, he's calling. What's up? What's going on? So I answer it and I talk to him and he's all like, what am I doing? This, that, and the third. Then he like drops the bomb. He was like, yeah, I'm here in Scottsdale. I've been here since 6:30 p.m. I'm like, oh man, because usually when Carlos and Ray come into town, I make it to where I can at least hang out with them at least one of the days that they're here, just chill with them, have laughs, talk story. It's all good, right? And then of course, Carlos likes to like show me his collection of new tech to just see the look on my face where I go all like bananas over it, like holy crap, you got a new iPad, or holy crap, you got a new MacBook, or holy crap, you got this. Like I go full nerd. My nerd bar is like, and then my geek level is like 100 because I just go bananas on the new tech that he has that he shows me. And yeah, so I felt bad because I was like, bro, I'm not in town. He was asking me what I was doing. I was like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. I'm like almost to the hotel. I told him I was going to the Grand Canyon for a day. So yeah, spent the whole day yesterday out there. If you guys missed the vlog, check it out. I mean, yeah, the very beginning of it. I mean, it's a vlog. It's not really like a tech video. I mean, like I put in the title that it was shot entirely on the Pixel 5, but it's in vlog style. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we could do Q&A right now. That's a good thing. Carlton says, is Pixel going to make a big Pixel XL? I mean, they have in the past, but are you asking if they're going to make a Pixel 5 XL? Because they're not. The Pixel 4a 5G is the XL model for the Pixel 5. It's also the XL model for the Pixel 4a. And that's why it's a blend of both, right? It has the body construction of the Pixel 4a. And that's just about it. It's got the camera sensor to the Pixel 5. It's got access to 5G networks like the Pixel 5 does. Some. Not all. I mean, if you want millimeter wave access on the Pixel 4a 5G, you got to get the Verizon model. The unlock model does not. It's only sub 6, I believe. Sub 6 access. It's got the same processing chip, 765G, as the Pixel 5. Same amount of RAM, I believe. No. It's 2 gigs less. But anyways, yeah, so it acts as the XL. Now, if you're talking about the Pixel 6, I don't know if they're going to do an XL, and I really think a smart move for Google is not to do an XL version of the Pixel 6. What I think they should do is the size itself should compromise for those people that want a more smaller device and those that need a bigger device. If they can kind of meet it in the middle and make like a medium-sized device, one that somebody that craves for a big device can hold it in their hand and be like, yeah, this is doable. And then, somebody else who wants a smaller phone, doesn't want a big phone, can say it's a bit smaller than the bigger phone, so I can handle this, meet in the middle type of thing. And the reason why I say that is because the Pixel 6 is going to launch with, for the first time, Google's own in-house made processing chip, right? Google had partnered with Samsung, and it was like a quid pro quo between them, right? Google made Android basically accessible for foldable technology, which benefited for Samsung and One UI. And in return, Samsung showed Google, this is how we've built our Exynos chip. So watch and learn as we develop and build our chip. So you guys have an idea how to build a chip and put your own googliness spin on top of it. So I think with that, I think the Pixel 6 should only be one device like they did this year with the Pixel 5. And I honestly think that the Pixel 5 was like a beta test to see if people could handle a Pixel flagship phone with just one size being released. YouTube should let you use the video as a reference as long as you give credit of copyrights to the video's creator. And you know what? Like, it's just weird how that happens, because like I've seen it done before where people have been like, they'll use as a matter of fact, shout out to Rishi Altered Tech. This happened to him. So he made a video. He made a video talking about another YouTuber because he wanted to, hey, he's here. Shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you, homie. But he made a video addressing another content creator in the tech space, and that content creator ended up hitting him with the copyright and had the video taken down. Even though in his video, while he was giving his perception on the subject matter, he gave credit to where the video came from and everything, and still got that. YouTube is just all kinds of bananas. They're hot and cold. Literally, like, you got to be up there in the top clouds of the YouTube space. You got to have that lip that puckers every time YouTube bends over. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be like absolutely talented at sucking farts out of YouTube's butt in order to be able to do and bend these rules. Because if you're an average person like me and you bend this rule, they consider that bend a break, and then you get it. You get slapped. Yeah, it's the homie Rishi. I wish I had a badass name like that, but like, yeah, I don't even like you. I don't even use my government name. I mean, one, because it's my dad's name, and I don't think I've deserved it, even though he tells me that he named me after him for reasons. Yeah. I got the strike taken away. YouTube sided with me eventually. It's amazing how fast they sided with the guy, though, and hit me with the strike. Yeah, because at first they compared subscriber count on his side versus subscriber count on your side. That's why they cited him real quick, because they didn't want him going anywhere else. Because if you got over 100,000 subscribers, they're thinking a good 80% of that is actively watching everything that you post, and then they don't want them going anywhere else until you prove your point. And then when you prove your point, if litigation could be involved, they definitely don't want to deal with that. So they're going to do right by you if you were not in the wrong. Exactly. So, yeah, another 5 more minutes, I'm going to hop off. But I am going to do my my thoughts on the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. That is still to come. I'm actually going to do it live. So instead of just doing a video, I'll probably do it live. Yeah. I've seen good comments about the N10 5G. I've seen people talk some negative stuff about it. I've read and really analyzed the negative stuff, and some of it I got about half of it. I gotta say, I'm gonna chalk it up to as just idiocy. If that makes any sense for someone to complain about a phone, like one person just literally trashed the N10 5G because it didn't have a glass back. Ooh, no glass back. Ooh, that's definitely going to screw up the user experience. No glass. What will we do? I mean, Pixel 5 doesn't have glass. I don't know about that one. Since when did glass ever make a huge difference? I mean, maybe it's easier to wirelessly charge when you have a glass back. Exactly. That's preference. It's preference and preference alone. And I'm just saying, this is weird. Weird. The N10 5G has been solid. I'll tell you guys that much right now. Little sneak peek to it, sort of. I'll say this. And it's all about expectations too, because if you go in with expectations, you're bound to just literally let yourself down. So I use the same clear plastic case on my $749 8T and the $99 Nord N10. When I pick one of them up, usually I forget which one is which. Yeah, the N10 5G is solid. Solid in my book. It's been going on. It's been going strong. I mean, when you have expectations, you can let yourself down. So that's why I'm just like, don't look at these phones with expectations, and then there's nothing to be disappointed about, right? And if you don't like plastic phones, that's your preference. You don't like plastic phones, but sometimes I think it's weird when people like they go off the wall bananas. They go ape shit all over this, thinking that if they complain, scream, and bitch long enough, that it's just going to miraculously transform every phone of that model into the type of material that they've wanted for it. Like, it's got to have glass. I hate them for it doesn't have glass, and all of a sudden, like, every N10 5G is going to just transform, like they're all Transformers from Cybertron, like, and like now we have glass. Like, it's just not going to happen. You're like the big bad wolf with the three pigs. You're gonna huff and puff. You ain't blowing the brick house down. It is what it is, man. Chuck it up and move on. That's why there's so many options out there of phones. That's just me. That is stupid ass beep. Why would you want the back cover to be glass? It is bad enough when the screen scratches, cracks, and shatters. Exactly. I know firsthand. The iPhone XS took a spill, and it's cracked, and it's ugly. It's ugly. It's bad. It's so bad that I'm already in the market for a dbrand skin. I'm gonna skin the back of the iPhone XS, cover up that ugly spot. It looked like Spider-Man took a crap on the back of the iPhone, literally, like just webbed it. But anyways, I do want to thank everybody that came in to hang out for this podcast. Thank you guys so much. And again, I am sorry I didn't do it yesterday, but I was just tired. Hiking around the Grand Canyon, taking pictures, running, having fun with my kids, laughing and whatnot. It took a lot out of me. I'm an old man. Well, I'm getting older. I know someone who's older than me is going to tell me to shut up because they'll be like, you're not my age. And I get it. But I feel like an old man, 38. I'm going to be 39 in a couple of months. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to feel my age. And I was just tired. But hey, we got it today. And before I go, who are you guys going for the Super Bowl? Replay crew. Put that in the comments. Who do you guys think is going to take the Super Bowl? I'll tell you right now, some might disagree with me, but I'm going with Buccaneers. I'm going with Tampa Bay. Not because I like the team, but because they beat my team. They took them out of the playoffs. I wanted the Saints to go. I really wanted the New Orleans Saints to go because this is the last time Drew Brees is playing, and I'm just thinking like one more for him. Since they went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, since then they've always come close. They've always either like gotten into the playoffs, were knocked out in second week, first week. So Tampa Bay beat them. So I rock with the team that beats the Saints. That is Tampa Bay. That's who I'm going for. Let me know your guys' answers in the comments. For those that watch the replay, thank you guys so much for checking it out. Really appreciate you guys. Again, shout out to the channel members. You guys are clutch for being a channel member. Really, really appreciate you guys for that. And if you want to follow the Facebook fan, not Facebook fan page, but there's a group page on Facebook. There it is, the Geeks Den, right there for you guys. Those on YouTube. Those are watching on the group page right now, because I am multicasting. Thank you guys so much for being a member of the group page. Really appreciate you guys for doing that. You guys are awesome. And yeah, that is it, I guess you can say. Oh, yeah, if you guys wanted to support the podcast, there's the way to do it through PayPal. Really, really appreciate it. But the biggest support you guys can do, you guys know what that is literally just smashing the like button and sharing on social platforms and circulating this video. It really, really does help me out. All right, Michael, take it easy. Everybody that came in, take it easy. You guys are awesome. I will talk to you guys in the next one. And as always, enjoy this outro clip. Aloha.